The aim of today's session is really to give you a holistic view of what information technology is, and also the various areas of IT that you might like to study at UTS. We'll be focusing more specifically on the Bachelor of Information Technology, which is our cooperative scholarship program, and it has an increased focus on learning through practical industry experiences. We'll also cover how you can best prepare to study IT at UTS, and this includes specifics of applications and the entire application process and some of the key dates that you need to be mindful of. And then, of course, as mentioned, we will be wrapping up with a Q&A session with our amazing panel. So I'll remind everyone once again, if you have any questions throughout the session, please do put them into the question box and we'll be addressing them all at the end. So first things first, what is information technology? I know it can be quite confusing, it definitely was for me, but in essence, information technology is all about developing solutions to better connect us in the modern world. It really encompasses the complete design, development, implementation, and management of all computer-based systems, which enable us to produce, manipulate, store, and communicate information with each other and across the world. I know that can be quite a mouthful, and something that a lot of prospective students get quite confused with is what is the distinction between information technology and other technology-related fields such as computer science and software engineering. The way I would explain this is that unlike some of those more specialist area courses, information technology is a much broader field, and it's concerned not only with technology in isolation, but rather how it integrates in businesses and our broader world. So the aim of information technology, if we had to sum it up in one beautiful sentence, is simply to develop the most innovative and efficient solutions to real-world problems using technology as our primary tool. So what does this involve? To develop these solutions, IT professionals need to develop lots of different skills and abilities, and these include things like logic, pattern recognition, and problem solving, as well as more technical skills like programming, networking, and analysis. The pace at which the world of information technology is developing is extremely rapid, but while this sounds a little bit intimidating, it also leads itself to the fact that the life of an IT professional is going to be one of consistent learning and growth. This is really exciting because it means that there's always going to be an exciting new opportunity for you to explore. A note that I find quite interesting and quite inspiring, which is on the screen right now, is that information technology really involves disrupting the technology of today to build and develop the technology of tomorrow. So the future of technology, it's one that's very, very exciting, and it's one that requires human talent, like yourself in the audience right now, to help advance it. One of the best aspects and benefits of studying at UTS, and this is from personal experience again, is that UTS is really dedicated to ensuring that the courses that we study here are relevant and reflective of the emerging technological trends in industry. Understanding and having that exposure to the various directions that technology is moving in industry will really help you understand and decide how you want to position yourself to succeed and figure out exactly what you need to study during university and even after university to get there. So what does the future of technology hold? On the screen right now, you're seeing a list of very exciting new emerging trends, and I'm sure you've heard a lot of these before, things like artificial intelligence, virtual reality, cybersecurity, cloud engineering. These are all very exciting new fields, and you definitely have the opportunity to study them through a specialization in your degree. We will talk about specializations in a little bit later on in the presentation, so I won't linger too long, but yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind that if you are interested in any of these areas, UTS definitely has the courses for you to study it. Let's have a look at some of those courses then. We, as the #1 university for computing science, UTS definitely has quite a few for you to choose from. All the courses that you're seeing on the screen right now share a mostly common IT core, which means that the first year subjects for all of these degrees are likely to be quite similar. And the Bachelor of Science IT, which you see at the top left-hand side of the screen, is our main all-rounder degree. You also have the option to choose more specialist degrees like computing science, games development, or information systems, and these all go into a little bit more depth at their specific focus areas. The Bachelor of Software Engineering, which is also on the screen, is a little bit different in that the fact that it is an engineering degree, and so it does have slightly different core subjects, but again, it is really geared towards coding experts, so it is a bit more of a specialist degree. You can also combine some of these degrees with other degrees. For example, the Bachelor of Science in IT is very commonly combined with the Bachelor of Business, as well as diplomas like the Diploma of Professional Practice, which gives students an opportunity to integrate industry experience modules as part of their main coursework. The focus of today's presentation, of course, however, is the Bachelor of Information Technology, which has been highlighted in bright blue on our screen. And this program is our cooperative scholarship program. It's called the BIT course, as we like to refer to it colloquially. And this program is really for students who demonstrate and aspire to be IT leaders who can code and analyze systems. So what is the BIT? The BIT is a 3-year fast-track degree designed by UTS in collaboration with industry sponsors. And students have an opportunity to undertake 2 6-month industry placements with those industry sponsors as part of the core coursework for completion. This means that BIT students essentially graduate from university with often over a year's worth of relevant and highly competitive industry experience, which really gives them an edge after graduating and applying for grad roles. Along with a $49,500 scholarship, which is paid over 3 years, the Bachelor of Information Technology program also boasts a range of other benefits, including a smaller cohort size, which offers very rich networking opportunities, and a fantastic student culture. I'll discuss the student experience in a little bit more detail near the end of the presentation, so let's move on for now. To be eligible to apply for this program, there are a couple of criteria, so let's just go through them now. Firstly, you need to be an Australian or New Zealand citizen or hold an Australian permanent resident or permanent humanitarian visa. You also need to be a recent school leaver. This means that you've either graduated high school last year or you are going to graduate at the end of this year. And you also need to be wanting to study full-time because the BIT is an intensive full-time course. This also needs to be your first undergraduate degree. And in terms of the application process itself, you must apply using the UTS BIT online scholarship form, which we will have a link and describe in a little bit more detail later on in the presentation. It's also very important that the BIT course, so the Bachelor of Information Technology course, is in your UAC preference list, ideally in your first ranking, but this isn't as important. Should your written application be successful, you will be invited to attend an interview, and then offers are going to be released based on your scholarship ranking, which is essentially a combination of your interview score with your raw ATAR without adjustment points. Important note here is that there is no guaranteed ATAR benchmark, since that the scholarship ranking also takes into account your interview assessment, but there is a requirement that your ATAR be above 85 for you to receive an offer. I'd like to add here that even if you are considering applying, but you're not too sure if your ATAR will be over 85, I highly encourage you to apply anyways, because you might end up surprising yourself. I know I sure did. Now for some exciting stuff, let's have a look at the course structure. I know majors and sub-majors can be quite confusing, but essentially a major is a group of subjects you complete to specialize in an area you're interested in. At UTS, a major is typically 8 subjects, and in the Bachelor of IT program, you have the opportunity to complete a sub-major, which is half of that, 4 subjects. There are a range of exciting sub-majors for you to choose from. These include things like data analytics, networking security, interaction design, enterprise systems development, networking and cybersecurity, and business information systems management. And as you can see already from reading the titles of these sub-majors, they offer up quite a diverse selection of subjects that you can take up to broaden your exposure to the world of IT. On the next slide here, you can see how these sub-majors will sit into the structure of the overall degree. So like all other IT degrees, the first year is largely focused on IT core subjects, which really helps students develop those foundational level skills across the different areas of IT. So you might have some coding subjects, you might have some business related subjects, and some information management subjects. So it's really building those basic foundational skills. Students in the BIT program also participate in various professional development subjects during the first year. These include things like communication for IT professionals and career management for IT professionals. And this really helps them prepare for their first industry experience, which takes place in semester 2 of first year. Then going into second year, students participate in software development studios, which helps them to develop technical development and project management skills. And these studios, unlike other subjects at university, take on a very practical and applicational format. So they are very much so a work experience kind of a subject as well. Second year is also when you start completing subjects from your chosen sub-major, as well as some free elective subjects that let you branch out and explore different areas of IT that may not necessarily fall into your sub-major or your IT core, but are still very much so related to IT industry. Going into third year now, semester 1 is when students undertake their second industry placement. And this is again complemented with a work integrated learning capstone subject, as well as subjects from their chosen sub-major. The final semester of the program is largely focused on uptaking free elective choices, which offers students a lot of flexibility and very exciting stuff. It also opens up the opportunity for things like undertaking opportunities for exchange or global study. But yeah, this is definitely something that you have an opportunity to explore at university. So I've mentioned a lot about industry experiences, and you might be curious as to the companies that you might have an opportunity to intern with. And on the screen right now are some of the industry sponsors that have partnered with the BIT program previously or are currently partnering with the BIT program. So very exciting list of companies here on the screen, and definitely offer up a very diverse and fulfilling industry internship experiences. So I might just hand over to Kashish now to talk us through some of the next steps and how you can actually begin your application process.
Thanks, Himani. So yes, guys, now we're going to go over the next steps. So some of the key dates. So in May, we have the scholarship applications open. Then the BIT course goes live in July. Then we have in September, the applications close and we have the scholarship interviews from the 26th of 29. In October to November, we have HSC. And then in December, we have the ATARs and the offers released as well. So those are some of the key dates. And then to complete the online written application form, please do it by the 4th of September, 2022. And also the applications will open next week and you can apply by going to bit.uts.edu.au. All right, so some of the application tips that we would like to give to you is to be honest, to include examples wherever possible, and also to write about any experience. Now, it doesn't have to be IT related experience, but it can be any experience. And also to submit your application at any time and apply using the email address that you have registered with UAC. Then we have the interview stage. So the interviews happen in September. And also the interview will be conducted with an industry sponsor and a UTS representative. And your scholarship rank is based on your interview score plus the raw ATAR. Some interview tips. So again, there's no need to prepare. This is just a chance for us to get to know you. Just review your written application and try to use the STAR approach. So situation, task, action, result before answering any of the questions asked. Post-interview, so you will get a notification of your interview outcome. You'll have a chance to review your UAC preferences. You will then be contacted after the ATARs are released. So please be ready to confirm if you will be accepting the scholarship as soon as possible. And to receive the course offer from UAC, you will need to list the scholarship course as your first preference before the UAC deadline. All right. So you can complete your application at bit.uts.edu, how to apply, and you can also go to bit.uts.edu to look over scholarships and awards. I will now pass on to Himani to share some of her experiences as a
Hello again, everyone. By now we've heard a lot about what the BIT is and how you can apply, but I'm sure you're all wondering how the student experience of being a BIT actually is. So I may be a little bit biased here, but I've got to say it's pretty awesome. As I mentioned earlier, the BIT program tends to have a pretty small cohort of about 30 students, and this allows for a very close-knit support group, which can really help you through, especially first year, second year, as you go through those internships. One of the best things about being a BIT is the networking opportunities it offers, and this includes the formal events, things like the exclusive careers fairs and the industry sponsor site visits, as well as informal situations like bumping into a fellow BIT alumni in industry. And I speak from experience here, this is quite common and it's pretty cool. I'm undertaking my second industry placement right now at KPMG, and I already have 2 or 3 other BITs in my team itself. So it's definitely quite common to see another BIT in the wild, and it's quite cool when it happens. In terms of social culture, we do have a student committee named BITCom, which I do happen to be president of currently. And essentially what BITCom is, it's a group of students across all 3 cohorts of the program, as well as some alumni members who have recently graduated, coming together to plan really exciting social and professional development events for students in the BIT program. We've held some pretty fun events and activities this year, including things like the campus scavenger hunt for first years, as well as mid-year games night, which are both really amazing opportunities to get to know students across all 3 cohorts. We also run some more formal workshops and initiatives like the first year mentoring program, internship advice panels, and the graduate application panel, which just took place recently. And for that, we were really lucky to be able to invite some BIT alumni currently working in industry to come back and share their advice and experiences with the 3rd year students. Above all, though, I've got to say that I think the biggest benefit of the BIT program is truly in its focus on the industry-based learning aspect. As I mentioned earlier, the field of IT is so incredibly vast, and often it can be quite difficult to pinpoint the specific area that you want to pursue. It definitely was a big challenge for me, so I totally understand if you are in the same position. The best way to find out what you do like, though, in my opinion, is by trying a little bit of everything. And the industry placement experiences really enable this for students at a very early stage in their career. For example, I'll bring in a personal story here. Before beginning my 2nd industry placement that I'm now undertaking at KPMG, I knew absolutely nothing about the field of consulting, and I really hadn't considered it as a potential pathway because I thought I was more technically aligned. But now, having enjoyed my time here so immensely, I realize that this may be something that I want to pursue, and I can't help but wonder that had I not known about it, I may never have even considered it. So truly, I think one of the biggest benefits that the BIT program offers is that exposure to a very vast industry so early on in your career.
Thanks, Imani. So yes, moving on. We do have a couple of student support services at UTS. So we do offer bridging courses for mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And we also do have UPass sessions, which are done by students who have already completed the course and have got a HD, and they share their tips and are also able to help you out with the content delivered in the lectures. The Women in Engineering and IT Corporate Scholarship. So it is a $66,000 scholarship paid over 4 years. It includes 3 industry placements, and it's only for software, data science, engineering, and it's only available for females. And then we do also offer a lot of other scholarships. So we do have a lot of different scholarships, so you can check them out on the UTS scholarship website. And we do have IT scholarships, which include internships with industry partners that you can apply to as soon as you start your degree. And again, you can do that by using the UTS scholarships search tool.